Man, I don't even want to start talking about his story because he does such a great job about it. Seriously, it's inspiring. Grab your Kleenexes. You're going to need them for this one.
Well, I didn't know Halie went through all of that stuff.
Neither did we.
Reason being is because I hadn't been in my family's life much. And I gave her a letter, and we'll get into the letter in a little bit, to read. And after that letter, a few months later, she asked me if I would come up here and speak. And I told her, sure, not a problem. What Nick was talking about, I spoke for an hour at the church and gave the message. Now they tell me I got to rush all of it in 5 minutes to 10 minutes.
You can do it.
So we'll get started. But for all of you, it's an honor to be here. That's my little girl right there, and I appreciate her very much. So you'll know. From West Texas, and used to have a GM dealership, Ford dealership, been in a car business, and that's where my hope, I guess, really started. And when she was telling me that this was called Unconventional Hope, it all made sense. Because without hope, that's where suicide steps in. All it takes is just a little bit of hope. Just a little bit of hope. And you can get through anything. Especially if you have the Lord on your side. I used to not know God. I just knew of Him. And about 2008, after divorce, selling dealerships and all of this, you'd probably think I'm a pretty normal looking guy. Tell you about the dealerships. Well, I'm going to tell you, the last 7 years, up until February of last year, I spent 7 years in federal prison. And that's where I experienced what I would say losing my hope. From going from where I was for 20 years in the car business, big Mr. Car Dealer, to sitting in a prison cell. I don't mind telling you, stupidest thing I ever done. Hauling some weed across from Mexico. Cost me 7 years of my life. But while I was in there, I was locked up with 467 Spanish men from Mexico, Nicaragua, El Salvador. One white guy amongst all this mess. And missed my daughter's graduation from high school. Law enforcement family background. And kind of just offset my whole family. Upset everybody. And here I was sitting in a jail cell. So for 3 months, all that happened in there was fight after fight after fight. And when I was in there, I went to work in the laundry department, worked my way up, and my boss lady and the 3 guys that worked in there, they would leave in the mornings on Monday morning, be gone 45 minutes. So I started planning out what was going to happen because I couldn't take this anymore. Sitting in a jail cell, more like the most unhumane thing a person could ever think about. And that's where I give up my hope. So I started plotting, thinking about suicide. I've had 2 friends hang themselves. And they were such good Christian people, I thought. And I'm thinking, okay, well, if they did it, they must have, right before they did it, they must have asked God for forgiveness and everything's good. Well, the only problem is I didn't know who this God was. I just heard about it. So I write a letter to my dad, to my mom, and I ask them to come see me on Sunday after my daughter's graduation. So they come over, come inside, and inside the plexiglass, I told my dad and my mom, I said, this is the last time that you're going to see me. I'm coming home Monday. And they said, oh, what'd you do, get bond? I said, no, I didn't get bond. I said, I'm living like an animal in here. It's fighting every day. Look at me. I got a busted lip, a big old black eye, and, you know, 5-on-1's not very fair. So he was like, what are you talking about? And I said, well, you're going to have to come and get me in a body bag. Well, our 30 minutes was up, and he got up and he put his hand on the window on that plexiglass, and he said, don't do this, son. Don't do this. He said, give me some more time. And I can only imagine what my dad felt like. You know, I got to leave my son behind. This is the last time I'm going to get to see him. My mom was the same way. And like I told him, I'll see you this next life. So they left. Sunday went through. I thought about it all night. Didn't sleep. Next morning I get up, go to the laundry room. Boss lady leaves with the 3 guys. They take off 5 minutes. I look out the window, make sure nobody's coming back. Reach under, grab a rope, put the rope around my neck. There's a table sitting there. I put the chair on top of the table. There was a vent up top, and I called that the devil's vent. So I got up on top of that chair, put that rope around my neck, tied that rope on each corner, stuck my fingers up in the vent, took 1 step off, and I asked God, forgive me for what I'm about to do. Well, as soon as I was fixing to lift this other chair leg up, kick that chair out from underneath me, I guess because of some little bit of hope that I might have had, I didn't hear an audible voice. Never have. But it was like my heart had hands and ears. And I could feel the words say, what are you doing, son? What are you doing? You're trying to fix something temporarily, or something that's temporary, and you're trying to fix it permanently. So you made this mess. I've given you every warning there is. I've given you a new car dealership. I've given you family and kids and money and all of this stuff, but you still wouldn't listen. At that time, I started to realize what hope was, because here's a feeling that I didn't know nothing about. I was ready to go. And all of a sudden, this feeling come upon me and said, get down off of here. I got you. I got you. So, I got down off that chair, took that rope out from underneath my neck, crawled in the corner and cried like a baby. Looked up at that vent and I said, you know, I don't know who you are, God, but you something else. Get me down off that chair. What it boiled down to, I don't care if you're in a jail cell. I don't care if you're out in the world. People get locked up here. And that's what it's about. And it's about hope. Just like this says here, unconventional hope. You know, I thought I'd given up this hope. And I was ready to go. Go on to this next life. See. But you know, not very many people get 2 seconds away from death and get to talk about it. So I smile every day. I'm positive. And I never give up that hope. And I always make sure that everybody around me Everybody around me has that hope, because if you got hope, that hope turns to faith, and that faith's what gets us home. Whether it be in this life or the next life. Whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God. At the end of the day, it's between me and my God. Not me, my God, and anybody else. So I owe that to the hope, to the faith, when I was in there by myself. No family, no friends. So I hope that the next time you hear somebody's in prison, write them a letter. Write them a letter. You might get a phone call, but that phone call's 15 minutes and they can hang up that phone. But if they've got a letter, they can carry it around their pocket. They can read it over and over and over. It doesn't take much to ask out here, hey, how you doing? Tell me about your hope. But in there, write a letter. Tell people, dig down deep and find that hope. It's just temporary. It's just temporary. Because you're going to come out and be better than ever before. I walked out 2 days later, after 7 years of building myself and changing myself in there. It was not jailhouse religion, because I still got it. I didn't throw that Bible in a dumpster. I still got it. And that's what gives me hope to get up every day. And 2 days after I got released, I got director of training for 9 dealerships. That comes from that hope. My family gave me hope. My friends gave me hope. And I'm just asking you, look around. Somebody besides you might need some of that hope. Somebody you know, somebody you don't know. That's what the world's about. Zig Ziglar said, and I'll close with this, you can have everything in this world that you want if you just help somebody else get everything in this world that they want. Well, you can't have what you want unless you have unconventional hope. That's all I got.